Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring. Today is Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024. Hey, I had a really good day trade today on the 5 minute on TLT using a higher low V2, but the trade also encompassed using multiple time frames. So let's start off with the higher time frame. Let's start off with the daily, and this is what brought the trade to my radar was looking at the daily. And if you look at the daily here on TLT, you can see this low here, this low here. We draw the line out and we can see that extending that trend line, yesterday we closed a little bit below it. Today we opened above it, and then we came all the way back to the trend line. And when it got back to the trend line, I thought there was a good chance they were going to bounce, but I still need a proper entry on the smaller time frame to get in. But this is what brought it to my attention. This long-term trend line on the daily. Of course, we got this big rally in TLT. We got up into some resistance levels, and it's come down hard over the last week. But the chance of it bouncing here at this trend line was pretty high. And again, we opened up higher, came back down, tested it, and went right back up. So this is what brought the trade to my attention in the first place. So let's take a look now on the intraday time frame. So you can see the trend line is here. Okay, so now let's just get into what the signal was. But the key was the long-term trend line on the daily. So this is a higher low V2. I talked about a higher low V2 on a trade I did as well, but the first requirement of a higher low V2 is we need to close below the value zone. The value zone is anywhere between this top green line and this bottom green line. We close below, check. Two, we need to come into the value zone, check, we did. Then we came back down, and then we need to have a higher low V1 or a V2. A V1 or a V2 consists of 3 bars, bar 1, bar 2, bar 3. Bar 2 goes under the low of bar 1, closes over the close of bar 1's close. Do that again. Bar 1, 2, 3. 2 goes below bar 1's low, 3 closes above bar 1's close. And the point here is that when this V2 triggered, it's called a higher low V2 because this low here is higher than this low. But more importantly, or just as important, but really what adds bonus points to this trade is that it came down and tested the long-term trend line on the daily. Okay, so if you want to learn more about V1s and V2s, I use them in my trading a lot. They're really the bread and butter of a lot of the entries that I make. Just go to my YouTube channel, check out the video on V1s and V2s. All right, so again, we close below the value zone, we come into the value zone, we pull back, we create a higher low V2. I entered the trade here at $90.16. Now, when I enter the trade, the first thing I always do is I place my emergency stop 2 ATRs below my entry. If it gets there, I'm simply out of the trade. That's it. I don't wait for the end of the bar. That's just my maximum allowed loss. That's my emergency stop. So I always put that first. Secondly, my end of day or my end of bar in this case on a V2 is halfway of the washout bar. Washout bar is the number 2 bar. Remember, we have 3 bars, bar 1, 2, and 3. The stop is halfway beneath this bar here. If it closes below halfway, it didn't do that, but you see how close my stop is? Of course, I have my 2 ATR emergency stop here, but the good news is this only gets hit about 5% of the time. 95% of the time, if I have a losing trade, it would be just the end of bar stop, which is much, much closer. So if it did close below halfway here, I'm simply out of the trade, but out for a smaller loss. Okay. And then because ultimately I'm risking 2 ATRs on this trade, I want to have an asymmetrical risk to reward trade. So I want to have my profit target be at least twice what my maximum allowed loss is. So if my maximum allowed loss is 2 ATRs, I want to place my profit target 4 ATRs above. So when I put this trade on, it's kind of a set it and forget it in a lot of ways, because one of four things is going to happen. Worst case scenario, it's going to hit my 2 ATR stop. Secondly, if I have a loss, it's a loss because it closed below halfway of the washout bar, but that one hopefully will be smaller, and most likely will be smaller 95% of the time. Third option is that I hit my 4 ATR profit target. And fourth option is the end of the day expires and it hasn't triggered any of these stops or the profit target. So I may end up with a small little loss, or I may end up with, a medium gain, or maybe it's even close to the 4 ATR, but the time just runs out. But this particular trade did reach its target objective of 4 ATRs above, and I think it was 40 cents. Yeah, 40 cents and 20-cent maximum allowed loss there. So a good risk to reward ratio, because my end of bar stop was very close. Higher low V2 in the value zone. And bonus points on top of that was that the daily, this trade coincided exactly where the long-term trend line was on the daily. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, I really would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It really helps the channel out, lets YouTube know there's something of value in this video. If you'd like to learn more about my trading and my strategies, three options. One, you can watch my weekend review podcast on YouTube, where I talk about all the daily trades and the swing trade, weekly trades that I've done in the past week. When I entered the trade, why I entered the trade, how I'm going to manage the trade going forward. I also point out different markets and symbols of what I'm looking for in the coming week as far as new trades, and I think you'll really find that helpful. Number two, I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I love to teach. I've taught people from all over the world, all the way from absolute beginners all the way up to the hedge fund level. I teach you all the strategies that I use step by step. And when you're done with that course, I promise you, you will be a better trader. The best way to learn anything is one-on-one with your teacher or your instructor. And third option is a really good option. I have a really good online video course at udemy.com, and the links in the description here, where I teach you step by step the deep dip buy strategy, which is a great strategy to start with. 9.5 hours of video, and I teach you step by step, and that's a really good quick and affordable way to get started. So I hope you found this helpful, everyone. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comment section and I'll do my best to get back to you. But appreciate you tuning in today, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation, and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.